Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mariama. I'm a survivor of FGM. I grew up in a community that practiced FGM, and every female member of my family has been caught, from my grandparents to my parents, even beyond my grandparents. So it's something that's been passed on from generation to generation. Cutting season normally happens during summer, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's summertime. It could be even in December. It's during holiday, because it depends on the cutter. You know, some cutters, their hands are very quickly healed and some are not. But the reason why summer is because it's 6 weeks holiday, so they can heal before going back to school. In my case, I was caught when I was 3 months old, and during courting season, the atmosphere is so electric. It's the dancing, the partying, the singing, the presents. And I used to cry. Every season, I would cry to my mom. I want to be caught. I want to be caught. My mom said, you've been already caught. Compared to my sister, who was caught when she was about 6, 7. I could remember one day I was having a chat with her after a session, and then she called me, she couldn't get me, and then after I called her, I was having FGM session, something. And then she said to me, do you know, I could remember everything that happened that day, from them picking me at early hour of the morning to the ceremony and the cutting. I could remember everything up to this day. In my case, I couldn't remember anything because I was 3 months old. That's the reason why I used to cry. And if you hear survivors speaking, the story is almost the same, because they will be crying to go, because they didn't know what is behind closed door. They just see the party, the atmosphere, and the present. And people like me, I like my food. I used to cry because there was always a lot of food, nice food. And I know I was caught, but I didn't know what they caught or what they did, or the reason why or not, until my wedding day. That's the time I realized I was caught, because they have to take me back to the cutter to cut me, because they did type 3 to me. And they have to take me back to the cutter to cut me back so that's how I realized what exactly happened with my sister. So cutting is something that is being passed from generation to generation. And if you are not cut, the time you unclean, and you are easily aroused, and sometimes they will outcast you. And if you happen to get married to a family that practices it, your life will be hell, because every time you put your foot at the wrong place, someone will be insulting you. So to avoid that, you will see a woman who is from a tribe that they don't practice cutting, but she will take herself to be cut, just to be included, or just to be respected. I could remember, like, when there was a girl in our household. They used to rent in our house, in our compound. She was a tribe from Wolof. Those people that they are not cut, but she take herself to be cut, because every time people will be calling her names like Solima, that is worse than bastard, because she's not cut. They term her as not cut. So cutting is something that is very important from the community I come from. And I could remember when Kate approached me about FGM and to join Oxford Against Cutting. I wasn't like, no, but I meet a friend. I have a friend who is a Wolof, who is not cut. And she said to me, I think you should do it, because if you do it, people who are not caught, or people who don't know anything about it, will be able to know anything about and the harms you're going through. And that's how I have this courage to join Oxford Against Cutting. And when it comes to cutting, there are two main group of people that shame you because you speak out, like a survivor, like me speaking out. There are two main group of people who shame you. People who know everything about it. Those are the people from your community. The moment you start speaking about FGM, you start speaking about the harms, you start speaking that it's a bad practice, they will be calling you names, they will be bullying you because they will think you are disrespecting the community, you are disrespecting the norms and the values of the community. Oh, you went to the West, you want to westernize them or westernize yourself, or you have Western ideas, or you will be like betraying your tradition that is being passed to you. And that is what I could. There was a year. I've been here like 10 years. I didn't see my parents, and I went holiday 1 year to see my mom. And when I went, I didn't see my aunt. And I said to my mom, "Where's my aunt?" She said to me, "Oh, your aunt's neighbor's daughter is being caught, and she's looking after." And I start explaining it to my mom. My mom understands. My mom is a very open-minded person. She likes to learn. She likes to know new things. And when my aunt came, we were talking about this, and I was trying to tell her what the harms that goes with FGM. And she was so mad with me. She said to me, "Oh, you go to, like Nigerian, you say, you go to Igbo land, you bring Igbo ideas. You go to England, you bring Western ideas." She was so angry with me because she think I'm trying to change them. But what they fail to understand is people who are caught and the harms they go through or the pain they go through, they don't associate it with FGM. Because in my case, I never associate what I was going through with FGM until I met Kate and start learning more about FGM. And I realized whenever they say, "Oh, back pain," I say, "I have that. Urinary tract infection. I have it from a very young age." You know, when I was giving birth to my son, it took me 3 days in labor. I couldn't give birth. I have to have C-section. But I never associated with FGM because I didn't know. So, and from there, I need to speak out. Maybe there is somebody else not relating whatever is happening to them to FGM. So the other group of people who shame you are the people who know nothing about FGM. You start talking to people about FGM and you tell them what you go through and they will start saying, "Oh, what is that? Oh, your parents must have hated you to do that to you." You know, they are doing it without knowing that they are shaming you. Because if you tell a survivor that your parent must have hated you to do that to you, they will, even if they wanted to open up more, it will set them back because they will think you are judging them. And you are judging them without knowing you are judging them. So that will put them setback. And then some of them will say, "Oh, because cover up. Oh, is that a Muslim thing?" No, it's not a Muslim thing. And my parents love me. The reason why they call me, they love me. They think that's how they show me love. And some will say, "Oh, how do you manage to get orgasm? Do you have orgasm?" You know, if you say that to someone who is caught, people who are caught normally don't share what happens there because in a very early age, the people you trust, the people you respect did that to you. And when they are doing that to you during that season, they will tell you what happens here stays here. No FGM survivors will tell you the story that happens there because that's what they put in our head in a very young age. Can you imagine if you put something like that in a 6-year-old or 7-year-old and then from people who they love and respect? Do you think they're going to listen to you? No. Because they love them and respect them and it's part of their community and part of their culture. And then you will say, "Oh, how does it look?" Like downstairs. You know, most FGM survivors don't go have smear tests because they don't want people to see down there. So things like that will set FGM survivors not to come out to speak because they would feel they are being judged, they will feel they are being disrespected, and they will feel that people, especially people who practice it, they will feel they are betraying their people. So those are the two groups of people that shame. They are the knowingly shaming you and unknowingly shaming you. So in my case, how I overcome the shaming is like, before joining Oxford African Scottish, I never talk about FGM to anybody because that's what they put in my head. You cannot talk about it. It's bad luck. Even like the song that is being sung during the cutting season, they put in our head that if you sing it, it will bring you bad luck. I could remember one day I was taking my daughter to school. All of a sudden, one song popped into my head. It's from the we sing it during cutting season, and I start singing. For some reason, something like, "Oh, don't you want to have bad luck for the rest of the day?" I stop because it's not easy to just, because even though I know about FGM, I learned about, and I know that that is not true, but because it's been planted in my head very young age, I still have that belief. Sometimes I doubt, if I say it, I'll have bad luck, or I will just say it and happen to unluckily have bad luck and associated with it. So it's like that. So I never speak about FGM to anybody, and I didn't even know how to speak about FGM to anybody because apart from the cutting season and it's done and dusted, nobody talk about it again. Even my mom never talk about it. When I could remember when I see my period, my first time I see my period, I couldn't even talk to my mom about it. Because when it comes to this, you don't talk about it. Because when you start talking about it, they would start associating that you start having sex. So you see, girl child will not talk about it because they don't want people to judge you, especially if you live in an extended family. Everybody is watching you. Every move you do, somebody is watching you. People will watch you how you walk, because if they still walking you, they say you have started having sex. So we live in that kind of community, and talking about FGM or sex is no. So I never talk about it. So when I meet Kate, when she tell me about, I didn't want to join it. I was like, nah, I cannot talk about this, or it's gonna be bad luck, or no, I'm gonna betray. I was having all that doubt in her head. I'm gonna betray my community. I'm gonna betray my norms and values, what I've been taught. And then I was talking to a friend who is Gambian, and she is a Wolof. She is not cut. So I was talking to her we talk about everything. And she said to me, I think you should do it. I said, why do you think I should do it? She said, if you don't do it, people like me, because, she live in that community and she know what names they used to call her. And she is married to a family that they practice it. But luckily for her, she is here with the husband. If she was back home, still now they will be calling her names. So she said to me, I think you should do it. If you don't do it, people like me will not know about it. And people who are practicing it will not know the harms or associate the harms with it. I think you should do it. So that's when I started doing it. And then I fell pregnant with Aisha. I was introduced to Dr. Brendan Kelly at the Rose Clinic. And then it was funny, when I met Dr. Brendan Kelly, and then she sit me in her office. She saw me a picture of what I look like and what it's supposed to be look like. And that was the first time me seeing different, because I didn't know any different. I didn't know what was cut and what wasn't cut. For me, everybody's like that. So that was an eye-opener. So I realized, look, I need to speak out more, because if I don't, there are lots of people, and especially women. For me, my target is women who are caught, and so they know the harms, and then will not do that to their daughter. Because if I didn't meet Kate or Dr. Brenda Kelly or know anything about, I'll still cut my daughter. And let me tell you, there are still people in this country. The reason they're not quoting their daughter is not because they believe that the harms. It's just they are afraid to be prosecuted. But they still have that belief that if you are not caught, you're not clean. So that makes me to come out and speak. And even if it is one person like who is caught and can save her from cutting a girl child, I will be very happy. Thank you.